Welcome to our tutorial on required Windows system settings. To ensure optimum performance with Pro Tools, you need to configure the following control panel settings for your version of Windows XP. Disable hyperthreading in Pentium 4. Enable DMA for any IDE hard drives. DMA stands for Direct Memory Access. IDE stands for Intelligent Drive Electronics. Disable System Standby. Disable Clear Type Font Smoothing. Disable Data Execution Prevention. And then, of course, you need to restart your computer. In the next few minutes, we're going to take you through how to do these one by one. Let's talk about hyperthreading. This is a technology that debuted with the Pentium 4 architecture. It's supposed to improve your processor speed, but in Pro Tools, it kind of slows it down because it won't let Pro Tools have system resources for processing. So basically, if you don't disable this, you might end up crashing your machine. You've got to do this in your system's BIOS. So we won't film that here, but generally you can enter your computer's BIOS by hitting the delete key while it's starting up. You won't have much time, so pay careful attention during startup. And of course, check out your computer's documentation and follow the prompts on your screen for help. Now let's talk about enabling direct memory access for your integrated drive electronics, like your hard drive or your CD-ROM. Direct memory access is a technique for transferring data from main memory directly to the device without passing through your CPU. Computers that have DMA channels can transfer data to and from devices much more quickly than computers without this. So basically, this is good for making backups for real-time applications. In most cases, this will be set up by default, but let's show you in case it's not. Choose Start, Control Panel. If you're in Category View, you may want to display in Classic View. This is a little bit easier for navigation. Double-click on System. Click the Hardware tab. Click Device Manager. In the Device Manager window, expand the IDE ATA controllers. Now double-click the primary IDE channel. That's your hard drive. Click Advanced Settings. For each device, set the transfer mode to DMA if available. And click OK when you're done. As you can see, they already are here. Click OK. Let's do the secondary IDE channel as well. And you can repeat for any other IDE channels you have listed here. OK when you're done. In most cases, this will already be set correctly. Now let's talk about how to disable System Standby and Power Management. When you're using Pro Tools, the standby power settings need to be set to always on. This helps prevent long record or playback passes from stopping due to system resources powering down. Also, with your iLock in, when your computer goes to standby, you may have trouble waking it up. It's a pain in the butt. Same thing if your computer goes to standby with Pro Tools open and your external audio or MIDI device is plugged into it. This tends to crash my computer. We make these changes from the control panel as well. Double-click on Power Options. Select Power Schemes. From the Power Schemes drop-down menu, select Always On. Click OK. This sets System Standby, System Hibernate, and turn off hard disks automatically to Never. Next topic we're going to talk about is how to disable Clear Type Font Smoothing. Clear Type Font Smoothing uses additional resources that you want to have dedicated to Pro Tools. So, while it may improve your display, it just might slow down your computer. If you're operating from a laptop or if you've only got one hard drive, you want Pro Tools to have all the juice it can. Okay, we disable Clear Type Font Smoothing from the control panel also. Choose the Display option and select the Appearance tab. Click Effects. Now deselect Use the following methods to smooth edges of screen fonts. Click OK to save your settings, and close the Effects dialog window and the Properties dialog window. Now let's talk about how to disable DEP, Data Execution Prevention. While this prevents hackers from exploiting weaknesses in Windows, it can slow down and crash Pro Tools. Launch System, click Advanced. From the Startup and Recovery section, click Settings. Now click on the down arrow in the default operating system pop-up menu and note if the No Execute line says Always Off at the end. If so, then data prevention is disabled and there's nothing for you to do. You would just click OK and exit this window. If it does say Opt In, you're going to need to edit this, so click on the Edit button. A text or INI file opens. You need to scroll out to the end of this. Let's just manipulate this interface here. If this says Opt In at the end, you need to change it to Always Off. Just type it in. After you've done that, save the file and choose Exit. Now, click OK, and OK here also. When you've implemented all of these required Windows settings, then you need to reboot your computer. And this concludes our tutorial on required Windows system settings.